Welcome back to another exciting chemistry lesson. In the previous lesson, we learned about the rate of chemical reaction in terms of the change in concentration of the reactant or the product over the unit of time. In this lesson, we are going to look at factors that affects the rate of a chemical reaction. Now, the first thing, of course, we have to realize is one is gonna increase it, right? We are just gonna focus on increasing reaction rate because that's a lot easier to understand. And one thing you have to always remember is that when we increase collision, we increase the rate. Okay, so whatever you're doing, making changes, you have to visualize in your mind. Is this increasing the collision between the molecules or the atoms in your sample? If that's the case, it is increasing the reactant rate. And here are the following things that you can do to increase the collision. One is that you can increase the concentration, okay? Now, what does that mean, increasing the concentration? So for example, if instead of using 2.0 molarity, now I can have 2 or 3.5 molarity. This one would be as a higher rate. There you go. See that? So looking at the molarity values, we can say that if I'm using this sample, this much concentration, it would have a higher rate of reaction. Now, another change that we can make to increase the collision is pressure. How can you increasing a pressure of a container? And one easy way to do is decrease the volume, right? As you decrease the volume, the pressure increase. But here's another one. You can also add inert or stable gases, right? Or solid that does not involve or liquid. The key word is inert. They do not involve in the chemical reaction. They just stand to take up space, right? That's the key word. They do not involve in the chemical reaction. The same process is trying to, again, decrease the volume. So again, do not involve. So by adding this inert gas, usually the case, or solid or liquid, it take up space, so therefore it decrease the volume. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind. And temperature, of course, you can lower the temperature, you can increase the temperature. When we increase the temperature, we increase the average kinetic energies of the molecules, therefore it's increased collision. So as you can see, so far all this example are increased. Another one we are going to look at is surface area. What is surface area? The way it works is that, again, one way to increase surface area is you can grind the substance or cut it into smaller pieces. The other one we are going to look at is decrease volume. What does decrease volume do? So these are the factors that we can make changes, specifically increase to increase the reaction rate or decrease the volume. Okay? So as you are solving chemistry question relating to reaction rate, you have to visualize, okay? You have to visualize. They were trying to trick you by giving you some random facts, some random information. Separate it. Know what you want to do. If you want to increase chemical reaction, this are the thing that you can do. Everything else become extra information, okay? We already learned that catalyst increase reaction by lower the activation energy, and we already learned that already, right? How if we have that right there with a catalyst, it will be lower. So give us the faster reaction rate. Now, of course, we mentioned that if doing the one thing increase, doing the opposite would decrease. So here you go. So keep that in mind. And that's where the wording is going to get really tricky. So that concludes our lesson on how we can make changes to increase reaction rate or decrease reaction rate.